And that's the crux of our discussion at this time now. We bring in African Affairs Analyst Chuks Nwoko to help us better understand this subject. Welcome. It's good to have you join us.
Nice to have you join us.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I follow the script that we just read out, now there seems to be a progression. If you look at the ECOWAS, the AFTA, all these ambitions and what is currently obtainable under this instrument. But what do you make of this latest policy?
I think it's a laudable one. I think it's a brilliant step in the right direction. And like you were scripted, it encompasses a few things. First, it's going to enhance trade. It's going to enhance movement among the African brothers. Very, very good and laudable idea. What already exists in the ECOWAS region just got extended, and we're not the ones that have first tried it. Kenya and Ethiopia has shown example. Nigeria, as a big African nation, the most populous African nation, we've just taken the right step in the right direction. It's going to be enhanced trade. It's going to enhance movement. You know, it's going to enhance interaction and all that. Brilliant. I think that's the whatever. Africa has been in need of this type of thing, or this mountain of African Union and One Africa and all that. It's just going to help to boost it.
All right, but a lot of Nigerians feel uncomfortable, and they have been. There has been pessimism in the minds of some Nigerians from the comments we have heard, especially on social media. Like you said, so many people say it's a welcome development, good thing for Africa and good thing for Nigeria, who should be leading the way. But a lot of people feel that so many Africans will just come to Nigeria and flock into Nigeria and then not go back. I
thought that these people who make these comments are the ones who are complaining that Nigeria is not good. They're the ones who want to travel out. Why are you complaining about people wanting to come to our place? We have debranded ourselves. It's going to help in this visa, free visa on arrival. It's going to help prove whether Nigeria is a great country if we have influx of people. Because we have our own people bad-mouthing our own country, talking about all kinds of things and all that. So I think that it will help to rebrand our country if the travel agencies and the tourism organizations will latch into it and
take advantage of it.
Take advantage and present Nigeria in good light. Then when they are visiting here, they are coming here to come and do what? They are the ones, is that visit that will tell us whether we have great places to visit, whether we have great places where to holiday and all that, because it's actually a visiting visa that they are granting to them. So it's going to help. It's going to come with its problems. Let's not, I know, talking about pessimism, the leaders are leaders. They think and they, this is very impromptu anyway.
Absolutely.
The president made, and it happens, if you are inspired, you can make statements that after you made that statement, you can now sit back and work out the modalities of how you will work. But I think that is great, because Nigerians flock to places where I have taken advantage of going to places where visa acquisition is not really. I like to go to Dubai and just spend 7 days, few days, and I'm back.
And
you never know that. Yes, because it's so easy. I just talk to my agents and they arrange for me.
Well, you just said now that this presidential announcement was impromptu, and that's also another area of concern, whether Nigeria is truly ready for this, and whether the country, whether this policy had already been subjected to robust debate in the country. Shouldn't that have been the trend before the announcement?
It's not in all situations. If you're a leader, you know you are a leader. When our leaders don't do well, we tell them. For me, I love this one. You can work out the modalities, not starting tomorrow, and you can make adjustments. How do you know that after that announcement that they have not recruited people who are working on the project? That's how it should be done. You know, we don't have to. You know, in every situation that we pull down people when they make this, I don't even know whether it's a policy. Maybe for me it's an idea. Even if it's a policy, because it has proximity with the people, it's going to benefit human beings. It's a good policy.
All right. Joining us now is African Affairs Analyst Chuks Nwoko. Chuks, good morning. It's nice to have you join us right now.
Thank you so much.
Now, a lot of people have applauded the president and applauded Nigeria. In fact, we've heard comments from a few presidents across Africa congratulating Nigeria and saying this is the way to go, and this is a new vista for the continent, now Nigeria being the leader. Now, let us look at it from the Nigerian perspective. What does Nigeria stand to benefit from all of these?
Trade. The trade. Development. I expect the tourism industry, and in collaboration with other government agencies and people who are involved in travel businesses, will benefit. I guess what I actually want to benefit, I speak for other Nigerians like me, is to see those opportunities that we have not seen. When visitors come here, they're going to move towards those directions. So instead of complaining that Nigeria is hell and all that, if they come, it will be raised from my heart. A lot will benefit a lot. I also know that there are going to be negative consequences. There are going to be security challenges. But I expect that the team and the people who are working on this project will be able to put things, infrastructure in place to be able to deal with those things. But you can't really do anything without negative effects of this. Even some of the drugs that we take have negative effects. So I think that this is laudable. Like I said earlier, it's very laudable. This is the way to go. It will bring. We share a mutual likeness with our brothers in other parts of Africa. We're talking about Africa here. African Union, and I'm going to expect, an adequate response from other African countries, including South Africa, including Egypt. Emulating Nigeria.
You think South Africa is going to
toe this line soon? It will be an indictment on them. Nigeria has shown the way. I mean, I'm so excited, like you said, many heads of government have lauded this. I think that South Africa should follow suit, Senegal should follow suit, Ghana should follow suit, Egypt should follow suit. They should be able to emulate this example. I think, and then get ready to, instead of constantly complaining and all that, get ready to deal with the challenges that will arise from this.
But it's coming at a time when the land borders remain closed. So January 2020 is almost here. Yeah. So does this seem as a progression or otherwise of Nigeria's latest stance now on immigration and all that?
Yeah, but if people are coming in here on a to visit us and all that, it's the duty of those officials that represent Nigeria to clarify these things. These things are done elsewhere. We see it on television. Your motive and your purpose and how prepared you are. And we have to train our officers to be able to, find out the genuineness of the people who are entering into our country. The borders are closed, but you can fly in. That's why the issue of visa is important. That's why the infrastructure development and ability to travel within is very important. What is more important is the training and the preparedness of our government and the agency, immigration particularly. We need to create that ambience and the space to allow for this influx of people, because I expect influx to be able to interview these people, find out why they're here, that they're not going to pose a security challenge to us. Yes, that's very important. But all of that, it needs to be worked out and be worked on. It's not a problem.
All right. Very few African countries have this policy. Kenya and Ethiopia already have this policy, visa on arrival for all Africans. And I think President Uhuru Kenyatta was the most recent, just before President Buhari came up with this policy. Now, when you look at the African continent, the differences in so many things, from language to culture and all of that, how do you think that Nigeria's new policy on visa on arrival is going to help bridge this gap between Anglophone and Francophone countries, and then, different cultures and so on?
It's just visa issuance on arrival. Okay. If anybody arrives here, he gets a visa. So if you know you're going to have a language challenge coming to an English-speaking country, you don't have any business here. But besides that...
Or you can come with an interpreter.
But besides that, if you go to Okean, before the border closure, the people who come to our market here in Lagos every morning, they are French-speaking people. So they have a way of interacting. They have a way of speaking little English and all that. And when it comes to money business, the money does not recognize language barrier.
Money is like music.
Yes, money business enterprises and business do not recognize language barriers. It just happens. Indians are here, Chinese people are here. How do they do it? So that's not a problem at all. I think that trade, this African trade, continental free trade agreement, is just going to be more effective for African Union to implement, and it's going to bring the African countries together. And Nigeria has shown a good example, and other countries, as soon as they join in, by displaying that mutual affinity that we have.
Africanness.
Yes, we have a mutual likeness. There's something African about us. With money and language, no barriers. I think that we need to give it a shot, and as we move on, there are going to be challenges as you move on. You're not going to sit down in one place and resolve all the issues at the same time. As we begin to implement these, there will be challenges. Just get trained, train your workers, train the people to be able to deal with the challenges as they arise. You're not going to sit down and be making all the complaints and be, bringing all the negative issues. Challenges are going to arise. Get ready to solve them as they arise. Then ask people who have implemented these things, what challenges did you face? Learn from them. And this is the way to go. There's no doubt about it.
Chukwuemeka, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
It's been said that if all agencies work in tandem with this, once this visa initiative comes into full implementation, it will be easier to track foreigners in the country, because that's been the challenge. We're dealing with porous borders here and there. So many foreigners are in the country, so there needs to be some tightening of these elements. But how do you think this new move will, at least every foreigner needs to be accounted for in the country?
That's part of the challenge we're going to face with this policy. Like I said to you, they need to foresee it, prepare for it. Now, patriotism is what we require on our own side. You need to have these agencies of government working in tandem, representing us before these people, and don't bring unnecessary delays and all that, and get the right information. Use ICT, build portals and all that, take all the necessary details, and don't make this policy, don't destroy this policy, and be determined to track these visitors. Because we need to understand one thing, that this is about visiting visa. It's different from the one that we started implementing in 2008 that has to do with business. So this is very, very important. So you can secure our lives. So you don't bring people here to come and take our people's job. If you're visiting, it means that you have a stipulated period of time. So that there's need to be able to track whoever is visiting here. They must tell us why they are visiting us. And I'm interested in that aspect particularly because I want to know why anybody wants to visit this country. And also, the reason is because I noticed that a lot of our people just think that we don't have stuff here. We are blessed. This is a very blessed nation. So these visitors are the ones who are going to point it out to some of us.
When they return, even to those at home.
Yeah, to those of us that are here. Because, the tendency to always want to go outside because you don't see all that you have here. You don't appreciate what you have until you lose it. So that's, in fact, the only reason why I like this policy. I believe that if visitors start trooping in here, it's an indication of what I've always believed, that we are blessed.
But unfortunately, there's this perception that foreigners have, even fellow Africans had. I remember I was engaging with someone from Swaziland, and she was telling me she had this opportunity to travel to Nigeria at a point last year, but she didn't come because of security concerns. Visiting visa, as you put it now, how will this encourage more Africans, many of whom may have misconceptions about their safety in the country?
But as we speak now, the insecurity challenges that we have is minimized. The borders have been closed for a while. The kidnapping has reduced. And I don't forget that these things that were going on for a while, they are politically motivated. I've spoken so many times here on how that every time you have an election, soon after election ends, what you normally have is those who have been left out. They start these agitations and they start causing, these are basically political problems that result in these challenges. So, look, we have also not marketed ourselves properly. This is an opportunity for us to say that we are better than that. Now, if you come to visit us, you are going to see some of our culture shocks. I go out and I see some things that I do not agree with, but I still enjoy my visit when I go out. So they're going to see the good aspect. We are very good people, especially to strangers. Nigerians are very, very good people.
Very receptive.
We're very receptive. We're very accommodating. So they need to experience that. And we have carnivals going all over the place and all that. They need, by this time next year, to flood the different locations where we have these carnivals. But like I said earlier, the tourism department, immigration, travel agents is their duty, and the rest of us that have an opportunity to be on TV, to constantly speak good about our country. And you heard the professor who was speaking about reading. You got to read to be able to know some of these things, so we can speak well about our country, so that people can come. Look, Tony Lumelu organizes event every year where young people from 54 other countries come here to take money from him to go back. And I'm always invited to come and have cocktail and just interact with the youths and all that. And I met many people from Sudan. I met many people from Ghana. I met many other people that I don't understand their language, but they also participate. So,
and they have a lot of fun.
Yeah, they have, yes, human interaction can be very sweet when you have a common goal and all that. People will come here, I can tell you that. We have Calabar, we have Abeokuta, we have many locations. We have Ekiti, we have Delta, we have River State, we have Uyo. Have you been to Uyo? It's a place that our people need to market, and people will come there.
Even Kebbi and Bauchi, they're all beautiful places.
Have you been to there's a place in Benue, it has a German name. Where are you from?
Mike would know.
Where is that?
In Benue, you have this lush green extending to Adamawa and all that.
Well, almost everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay, almost everywhere in Benue
You know, where you have
has
these mango trees and all that.
Lush green.
From
Boko to Katsina to
now, it's our job to tell those stories and not these ones that we're currently telling about all these things that are so you can't go into any society where there are no negatives. It's our duty to stop the marketing our country.
All right, Chooks, before we let you go now, the several president of Malawi, president of Democratic Republic of Congo, president of Angola, they have all commended President Buhari for this. Now, what does this mean for Africa?
It means that they need to do the same thing that we have done. Because of our population, we also need to step up. Nigerians like to travel, and right now Nigerians are utilizing the opportunities provided by Cape Verde, Kenya, and all that. Our people are doing businesses in Kenya, in Ghana, in other places. These presidents should stop commending us. We appreciate what they've done, but they need to do exactly the same thing.
Isn't that a place to start?
Yeah, it's a good place to start, but the step they should take next is to do exactly the same thing, so that mutual affinity that we share, so that Africa can be like Europe, can be like Asia. You know, you have these Asian blocks, you have these North American and South American blocks. Let's, for once, the African Union be cohesive beyond what we have had in the past.